You're locked into Mic'd Up with Sampson Fam, where real talk meets real hustle. I'm your host, Marquise Sampson, and today we're diving into the legendary world's famous of fashion, entrepreneurship, and the power of radio, with the special guest who's been moving on all three, my man, Wendell Moss. How you doing, brother?
What's up, fam? What's good with you, man? What's good?
Maintaining. He's a true hustler and entrepreneur, radio and personality, key figure in the fashion scene, known for putting on shows and leaving people talking. If you ever dreamed of building your own platform, running events, or just making noise in the city, this is the one you want to see. We'll be back in a minute with my man, Wendell Moss, the legendary Wendell Moss.
Well, celebrating pioneers of music right here in Virginia, Certified Hip Hop Magazine held its second annual Independent Music Awards in the city earlier today.
Virginia is the gateway to the South, so we want to make this a pub hole for people. When they think about music, they think about New York City, they think about Atlanta, they think about the dirty South. We want the Mid-Atlantic area right here has a lot of talent that needs to be discovered.
Well, this year's award recipients include radio director for 106.5 The Beat, Mike Street, Cool DJ Foot from 106.5 The Beat, and hip hop historian Noah O.
Welcome back to Mic'd Up with Sampson Fam. And we're here with the legendary Wendell Moss. So, my man, let's take it back. How did your journey into entrepreneurship begin?
My journey into entrepreneurship began in the small town of the beautiful city of Petersburg, Virginia. Nightclub by the name of Magic City. Had a great mentor by the name of James Roots. Roots groomed me and taught me everything in the business aspect of how to be successful in a concert promotion arena.
Yeah, Roots. That was my man, Roots. We was doing that record label, X Records. Yeah, back in the day. Yeah. Remember Roots and Fat Tommy?
That's right.
Yeah, little skinny Fat Tommy. Yeah. So, what was your very first hustle, though? I mean, how did you shape that?
Oh man, very first hustle, man. I go all the way back to elementary school from selling candy and soda, canned sodas. Beating the soda machines and the vending machines in school. Outbidding them. Going to the lunch, doing lunchtime with the duffel bag. Full of Snickers, paydays, and Three Musketeers.
Yeah, like The Wire. Yeah. That's what's up. I remember them days. Yeah. So how did you transition from? Well, okay. So when your hustle started with that, then what was the first mainstream hustle? Like, was it the? Because you do a magazine too, right?
Yeah, I do two publications. The Beauty and Bible Award Show that I have been blessed to been in production for going on 15 years in the city of Richmond.
Okay.
8 years ago, it birthed the Beauty and Barber magazine.
Okay.
And last 3 years, I've birthed the publication Certified Hip Hop independent magazine for independent artists around the world.
Okay, that's dope. So what was first? Was it the magazine, the fashion shows?
It was a fashion show. The fashion show birthed the magazine.
Okay.
The fashion show birthed the magazine.
Because when I met you, I knew you was doing the magazine. I didn't know about the fashion shows at that time. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what started you with doing fashion shows?
What started me with the fashion show, my co-host that you met, Muhammad, he has a barbershop downtown Petersburg, and over 15 years ago, he's a good friend of mine. I used to go back and forth at that particular time. One of the owners was my barber, and I used to frequent the barbershop quite often and heard him, talking about different events, out-of-state events, as far as hair shows, fashion shows, and things like that, and going out of town. And so Muhammad planted the seed in my head that, hey man, you already go to all the barbershops and beauty salons as is, so once you put together some type of production to pay honoring the barbers and the hairstylists and the makeup artists and people in the fashion and hair industry here in Central Virginia. So that's how that idea was birthed.
Oh, that's what's up. That's dope. So were there any mentors or really people that influenced you on your road?
In the fashion industry, you got a lot of people that you see from a distance, and then you actually one person in particular out of New Jersey. They call him he's been given the name, the title, the Godfather of Fashion, and that's John Blassingame up in New Jersey. And,
Okay.
me and him is real. Have become great friends in the last 6 or 7 years. And he's been doing his production at the Newark Airport Marriott for 45 years.
Wow. Okay.
45 years.
Okay. And he's been doing it there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know, this year, this May coming up, I think he was telling me this is his retirement show.
Okay.
Yeah, he's able to pass it down to his son,
That's
Marcus.
What's up. That's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up. All right, fans, we're going to take a pause for the cause for a moment. You know what I'm saying? Give these sponsors some respect. We'll be right back. You're watching Mic'd Up with Sampson Fam.
NPO Creations provides alternative, healthy, all-natural beauty products to the men and women across America. Our NPO Creations body polishers contain essential oils that have uplifting properties for your body. It exfoliates the skin, so you don't need any perfumes after using this product. Because our body polisher leaves the skin silky and smooth. It can be used in warm bath water because it contains Epsom salt. And the Epsom salt assists with aches and pains along with releasing toxins from the body. NPO Creations, all natural, affordable beauty products available here and online, reminds you to look, love, and feel good.
What's up, fam? You're back. This is Mic'd Up with Sampson Fam, and we here with the legendary Wendell Moss. Let's get back at it. So, Dale, what inspired you to launch your own? Well, what inspired you to launch the radio show that you have? What's it called again?
The pre-show.
Pre-show, pre-show, and that's on 101.1 The Fan.
Yes.
Internet radio. Yeah, that's what's up. What inspired you to jump into that?
Well, for the last 15 years, we've been doing Comcast television. And that's with the public access station here in Richmond, Chester, Henrico area.
Okay.
We've been doing it for quite some time, and also they air a fashion show each and every week on channel 97, channel 37, and 17 in Henrico, Richmond, and Chester. So the owner of the fam, one of the owners of the fam, A.D. Roning, been quite good friends for quite some time. One particular night we was riding. I'd say it was probably about 1 or 2 or 2 o'clock in the morning. We was on 295, and I guess he was picking with his phone while he was driving. And he had seen I posted that the pre-show television show was about to take place in another month or so. So I posted it on social media. So he was like, "Yo, won't you bring that pre-show to the radio?" So, I ain't thinking nothing. That's radio. I said, what benefit is that? And so he was like, yeah, I know he had a radio station, but I ain't really, paying no mind at the particular time. So he was like, we want Apple Music. So when he said that, I looked up. I said, Apple Music? He said, yeah, that's what we've been listening to the whole time. He pointed that at the radio. I was like, oh. I was like, wow. I said, yeah, when do I start? What's that process like? So he was like, yeah, we Apple and Odyssey, that's worldwide, So
yeah.
Then I say probably after that particular conversation we had, I say probably about 2 weeks after that, I had the opportunity to travel to Atlanta. And from VA to Atlanta, I listened to 101.1 The Fan without a waiver, without a fade, without nothing. And after that, I was really pumped up, and I was really hyped in. Because, you know, most of your FM stations and stuff like that, you know, once you get a certain mile radius, they start to fade out. That. You know, that thing that didn't fade not one time.
Yeah, that's what's good with internet
crystal
radio.
Clear. As long as you got Apple Music, Odyssey app, you know, worldwide. And that's one of the things that actually draws a lot of attention to my particular show, because, you know, as you witness, we do the Pump and the Dump segment with independent artists all around the world. And, you know,
I was going to ask, you know, what content do you focus on with your show?
Well, with the Pump and the Dump segment, we've had country western. Believe it or not, we have country western. We had gospel. We've critiqued every genre of music, whether it's rap, whether it's R&B, whether it's neo soul, southern soul. Only thing we haven't critiqued is hard rock.
Okay.
But we give all the indie artists around the globe an opportunity to have a platform to actually, you know, display their work and to get an honest critique. You know, because if you got tough skin, you know, I got some boys that's with me.
Yeah, because I heard the show. Yeah.
Those boys ain't playing.
Muhammad ain't playing.
And Spin City from out of Atlanta. Spin City, he ain't got no cut card either. Spin City a little rough around. He rough too. Yeah, but you know, you got the guys like Ski Beats, Kenneth Stouse. You know, he gonna be, you know, he'll ease the pain a little bit, and I'm definitely gonna ease the pain.
But Tim gonna bring it on a political market. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got the words that brings down the black man.
Yeah. And you would expect that from Muhammad. But it's the opposite, you know. So, and then we got a special guest host. She's been rocking with us for the last 2-3 weeks. She's gonna be guest host until she moves out of town. She'll be moving to the 757 area, so she's been rocking with us, Jazzy B.
Yeah. She gives me that L'Oreal feel.
Yeah, she has she's been a mover and shaker in the entertainment field as well. Red carpet correspondence for BET Awards, Soul Train Awards, and, you know, all out of Cali and Charlotte, North Carolina, and you know, she brings a different type of flavor to balance to the show.
Doubt.
So, you know, we got a little well-rounded crew there. You know, then we got my girl Ty from out of Jersey. She does views from the brothel.
Oh yeah.
And from time to time, she jumps on the call to Pump and Dump it as well. So, you know.
Okay. So how do you maintain your audience? Like, I mean, do you find that there's competition? I mean, how do you maintain?
Well, I don't focus on competition. The only competition is the man in the mirror. So, you know, I don't really, you know, focus on competition. I just try to be as consistent as possible, you know, and, you know, from time to time I step out there with a little guerrilla marketing and things like that to actually, you know, make sure we are constantly relevant, and, you know, and we like to, you know, make sure you know that we are here, you know.
Well, this show gonna make sure you know you.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So tell us, what was one of your most unforgettable moments on the show?
The radio show?
Yeah, the radio show. What was one of the most unforgettable, funniest moments? I know the soul glow.
No. That won't it. Our engineer, Rail's Triple X, man. Goodness gracious, man.
Rail behind the scenes though, boy. Man, he keep it popping though.
Rail has this particular special talent that he can make the cricket sounds with his mouth, and it actually sounds like crickets. And so we had a Southern soul artist, and the bad thing about it was, I don't think it was a Southern soul. It was an R&B artist. There's an R&B artist that some Muhammad peoples.
Okay.
And I think the guy's supposed to been down with Genuine Camp or something like that. So Muhammad, he was all hyped up on it all day long. Yeah, man, make sure we get the song in and this, that, man. I need to get the dude bio. I said, man, just get the bio or whatever. We really just, you know, really all I think I need is the social media.
Okay.
You know, IG, Facebook, name, where you from, that's it. All that bio and his history, his DNA, I ain't particular on that because I only know who dude is.
Yeah.
Man, that song came on that damn thing, man. Oh my God. That job was horrible. When I say horrible, I mean horrible. And we could not. I had to cut it. I think it was like a 3-minute, 20-second song, something like that. Man, I gave my man DJ Elon the signal. Shut it down. And then Tim had put the mic, one of the extra mics over there with Rail. And he gave Rail I didn't know what was about to go down.
Okay.
And so before I could say something, everything was silent because mostly we come back from transitioning back from the music to the thing. The music, the background vocals, music instrumentals being the background playing. So everything was just a dead silence. Then all of a sudden you just heard the crickets, man. We could not. I mean, Muhammad was in the floor. I was in tears. Everybody was in tears, man. Then I was like, yo. And then we went around the board. Everybody said, yo, I don't know who you are, but you need vocal coach, you need everything. You need to go all the way back from ground zero and build everything up.
You know, it's crazy because, you know, I've been to your studio and everything, and, you know, I listened to the breaking stuff, and you hear some of the songs, and, you know, the people, they giving it because they proud. They like, you know what I'm saying, they created that song, they proud of it. You know what I'm saying, they friends told me, yo, this is dope. And then they get it on there and it's straight trash. It's like, you know, I used to have a video show back in the day, Cap City Videos. And I ended up stopping the show because at first it was good, it was doing good, man. I had videos from this group called The Sufferers. I had a lot of good talent on there in the beginning. But then people started sending me videos, man, that was such trash. I was like, man, I couldn't even keep the show going because I was getting too many trash videos, man. People's music was straight trash. I used to even do music videos for people, and they looking at me crazy when I do the video, but your song is trash. Like, you can't do a video and expect the video to change the quality of your song. Your song was trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, man. People, man, definitely they gotta critique their music. You need to be your own biggest critic.
You know, the new wave right now, currently, the thing that's trending now is the Southern Soul sound.
I got a Southern Soul artist that I film a lot of his videos, Big G. He got a lot of good stuff. He just did a video. I just did one of his videos. Oh wow! A song that
I didn't heard from Big G since the P.T. Brown days.
No, I just did one about a month ago, man. It was real. I can't think of the name.
You get those vocals. That's your personal opinion. We need to bring that so we can see.
On the show.
We need to bring that to the pump or the dumping table so we can actually we can give a honest opinion. So like you might be a little biased there, bro.
I might be a little biased. I don't know. Big G, he got, this last song that he did, man, it's like touching, man. It's a real nice song. It's a ballad, like, man. It's a real nice song.
Okay. You got, like I was about to say, Southern Soul is trendy. And you got your top tier people. You got your King George, you got your Pokey, you got your Westlove, you got your Nelly Tiger Travis, you got your people like that that's actually making moves in the Southern Soul arena for quite some time.
Yeah.
But you got some people, some of the artists. I wasn't really aware that so many Southern Soul artists. It's almost like you got independent rappers, you got independent Southern Soul singers, and most of them are really vocally challenged.
Big G, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing we're coming across. That some of the stuff that we're getting, some of the people are vocally challenged. We understand.
But they play instruments and stuff, so they get by with that. But Big G used to do this thing every Father's Day. He would have it out in the park. Man, I can't remember the name.
I think I've seen it too before. That's what Preston be doing, the James Brown thing and all that.
Oscar be doing the James Brown. They used to be in Crew, Virginia. They used to have it out there.
Who the better James Brown, Oscar or PT?
I think Oscar. I think only because Oscar's been performing it more.
I haven't seen Oscar in a minute. I see.
But they getting old now. Their knees ain't like it used to be. They getting lazy with it. They ain't twisting their feet like that. We need some new James Brown to come up. But Yeah, we're going to take a break right now, you know what I'm saying? Give these sponsors some respect, and we'll be right back. You mic'd up with Sampson Fam.
Daddy, do you tell me a bedtime story?
Okay.
Once upon a time.
You was promoted to detective.
Thank you, God. See, now you make a call about mama.
What about my son?
Get him in there.
Mama!
Get ready to go back to jail.
Shit. Accommodate. Who? Your home.
What are you doing? That's going in your review.
Like, how are you really talking to Terrell when I was talking? It's like girl code type situation.
Because I had. You didn't even give me a good review on the date or nothing. Like you gave me you gave me 3 stars and you gave me 3 stars.
And if I could give you negative stars, it would be negative stars.
Yeah, and the bodies have had 2 puncture marks on the neck.
Okay.
And they've also come up with all the blood missing in the bodies.
What you trying to say?
What else could do something like that, bro?
Your stupid ass jump in front of moving cars. So who the hell is the ghetto one? I think it'd be you. What? Oh, there she goes right there.
Oh, hell no!
Daddy, that's good.
And we are back with Mike Up with Sampson Fam. We're here with the legendary Wendell Moss. So my man, can you walk us through the behind the scenes of producing a fashion show? Like, somebody want to get involved.
Yeah, process that we use is a little different from other people, traditional ways, the way they do fashion shows. We kind of like transcended into more modern technology. What I mean by that, utilizing social media to our advantage. At once upon a time when we first started, we wanted the designers to be there for the model call, and the models. It was almost like mandatory for them to be there for the model call as well. Now that the great advantage we have with the social media, we utilize that to our advantage as far as if we for some reason we attract a lot of out-of-state models for my particular production. Carolina, New York City, DC, and 757 area in this Central Virginia. So we attract a lot of different models, and then a lot of those models, most of the time, it's kind of difficult for them to make that model call. So we take a lot of virtual submissions. They submit their video in Comcard, and then same with the designers as well. So we have 2 different groups on social media. One for the designers, one for the models, and then the designers, we upload all the videos that the models have submitted to that particular designer group, so they can actually choose whom they want to wear their garments.
Okay.
That's the thing that I always tell some of my seasoned models and some of my repeat models that have been in my production for years and years. They always like, do I got to come to the model call? You know how I walk. I said, well, I don't make the garments.
Yeah.
It's not my decision who wears Miss D's, or who wears Sophia Davis, or who wears G-Shack Creation or Tangi's clothes. Okay. It's their decision. So they need to see how you look size-wise and how your walk may look, and they can visualize how you will look in their garments. So it's not Wendell's choice. It's the fashion designer's choice. Of course, if you've been in my show 8 or 9 years, we know you can walk, but this is for the designer. So if you don't want to physically come to the model call, send me a video.
Okay.
That's just fine. Send me a video, and then we upload it like that, and then we go from there. And then that's part of the process. So once the process gets started, the selection process, and as fast as the designers started choosing whom they want to wear their garments, we like to do a little guerrilla marketing. What I mean by that is, we don't do selfish promotion over here. What I mean by selfish promotion is, most of your basic fashion shows, you have 2 basic flyers, of a fashion show. Our production, you might see 40 different flyers.
Yeah.
And why you say 40 different flyers? If we got 40 different models, each model have their own personal flyer because they're their own personal brand.
Okay.
So, if you're a model, you should have your own audience. So, if you're part of this production, we want you to have your own personal flyer. So, I've noticed in the last 5 years, a lot of fashion shows have adopted that style. And, and I'm not, I'm not upset, because flattery is the best thing to copycat.
Because if you're going to copy you're doing something right.
If you're going to copycat, you're going to be a copycat, copy the right cat, and I'm the right cat for you to copy. So, I don't, when I see that, I smile, I say, okay, they're catching on. So, so we have 40 different flyers. And so maybe in our model group, I might put it in the model group, hey, Friday at 12 o'clock, everybody post their flyer. So, boom, it's like a forest fire on social media.
Yeah.
That thing coming in at time now, you seeing all these different flyers, and it's the same event, but different people on the flyer, different designs of the flyer. So, that's part of the process. And then not only that, if you're a vendor in the event, we like to highlight the vendors with their flyers and the designer with their logo, their flyers as well. So it's not a selfish promotion. It's, we want everybody to get the marketing and promotion that they need to get their brand magnified on a larger scale. And so also, I've been rocking with Come See TV, international streaming provider, for the last 7 years. On the day of the show, my show is the only fashion production on the East Coast that's live streamed all over the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, live. So it don't make no difference if you're in Timbuktu, if you're the Isles Pacific, or if you're in Germantown, Michigan, and if you're in Chinatown, Louisiana, or if you in Kentucky, Alabama, if you got that link, you can sit right in the comfort of your own home and watch the particular production as it unravels right before your eyes.
So how do you find designers and models and venues?
Well, once upon a time, we used to put out, once we put the show up, and we used to put up, we're looking for designers. And that was probably maybe the first 2 or 3 years. Now they come find us. Once they see the flyer, they hit us up and say, hey, I want to be a part of that particular production. So we don't have a problem nowadays trying to find a designer. Sometimes my VP, she gets upset because she says I have too many designers sometimes. Sometimes I have to turn some of the designers down sometimes because we might be up to like 14 to 15 designers. And that's one of those marathon shows, and we try to keep our show under a 2-hour time period.
So do they pay to get in it, or?
No. We don't charge the designer, we don't charge the model. Most of your fashion shows now, they charging a designer fee, they charging a model fee and stuff like that to be in their production. But I always look at they do what they want to do, but they're not looking at the benefits of you're paying a designer fee, you're paying a model fee, but what's the benefits, or who's going to see you on the runway, or who's going to actually see you in a publication, or who's going to see you over and over each and every weekend. Like I said earlier, our fashion show is the only fashion show on the East Coast as well that's bi-weekly televised. On Channel 95, Channel 36 and 17, Chester, Henrico, and Richmond. We run like reruns of Martin and Sanford, consistently. All 52 weeks of the year. Tonight, 7 o'clock prime time. Last night, 7 o'clock prime time. So, that's something that we can say that no other fashion production, south of New York City, can actually state that particular claim.
Okay, for sure. So, do you accept new designers, like if somebody?
Of course. We just had last year. We just had a young lady. Oh my gosh, she's gonna kill me. What is it? Six Stitch or something. I can't remember the proper name, but she just graduated from high school, from the governor's school in Petersburg.
Oh, really? Okay.
And she did a really great job. Her wares was nice.
I have a nephew that does tie dye.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, he's kind of blowing up with it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of stuff that he does.
What's his name?
He's looking really good. His name is Renard Ross.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got another young brother that started out with us.
He has a. I'm trying to think of the name of his. I have to look it up. I'll look it up. I'll tell you in a second. He has a name for his design.
Yes, brand. Yeah,
brand. Yeah.
Yeah, most people got the name of the brand. So shout out to the tie-dye specialist, RJ Brands. RJ Brand, Ralph Gregory Jr. He's doing his things on a large scale as well. Yeah, so that's what basically.
It's called the Ross Experiment.
The Ross Experiment. Okay.
Yeah, the Ross Experiment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna post that up for everybody to see. The Ross Experiment.
okay. So that's pretty much the blueprint I just gave you on the fashion show, how we do our thing, as far as with the model call to the social media productions and as far as that, and then fortunately for the last 15 years, Channel 8 has been great help for us, promoting the event each and every year. And now Channel 12 has came on board as well.
Okay.
Helping us promote the event as well.
One more question before we go to break.
Mm-hmm.
What is the craziest thing that you've seen happen during a model show?
Mm-hmm.
Like they coming down the runway and the top fall off or something. Like, what's the craziest
Well,
thing?
that's not. I mean, that's kind of.
I know you got
that
wardrobe
could be common.
damage. Yeah.
I know she's gonna get mad when I say this. She's gonna be upset when I say this. Sister JJ, she was with me in the beginning. When we first started, the first 5 years, she was with me as a model coordinator, and we had a young lady that that's when we used to do rehearsals.
Okay.
We had a young lady that really needed a lot of model coaching with her walk. She was a young lady. She was extremely beautiful, but she had 2 left feet. And a lot of the models used to always make mockery of her during practice. They laughing and giggling, snipping behind her back and stuff like that. And we was always telling her, hey, everybody had to start from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's encourage her. Don't discourage her. Let's encourage her. So one of the people that used to always laugh at this particular model during the show, unfortunately, I think I said unfortunately, but just coincidentally, this particular model was Sister JJ's niece. I think what is it, Kamara? I think Kamara. Yeah, Kamara is her name. And she was coming in the runway, live show, and failed. And when she failed, it's
a model nightmare.
She failed, and she was acting like she was in pain. She was, she was holding her leg or whatever like that. So Sister JJ, in her Joe Jackson voice, she was like, "Come on, get up! You better get up now! You better get up now!" And that girl got up just to boom and walked on off. I was like, "Oh wow!" And I said, "Wonder was that karma?" All that laughing at that damn girl, and you get on a live in front of a live audience, and you fed that girl did that girl, the girl they laughed and made mockery of, she actually did a great job. She actually did a great job. She was a little rough around the edges, but we try to give everybody the opportunity to actually live their dreams out, because a lot of people, they're Instagram models, they're social media models. And I always say, you got different classes of models.
Exactly,
You got aspiring models, and then you got, professional models. And I say, you're always an aspiring model until you got that 1099 form.
Exactly.
You writing
professional until you get paid.
You writing off those taxes for makeup, travel, hotel expenses, and gas expenses, and things of that nature. That's when that next level of modeling
comes in. All right, so we're gonna take a break real quick, give these sponsors some respect. Y'all watching Mic'd Up with Sampson Fam. We'll be right back. We're back, mic'd up with Sampson Fam, and we're here with the legendary Wendell Moss. So, my man, you also got a novel.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
tell us about this novel.
I have a novel entitled Big Time, which is a urban fiction. Depicts the Tri-City area. It talks about at a time when the crack epidemic had just paralyzed the Central Virginia area, Richmond, Henrico, Petersburg, Hopewell, and it gets into how one particular character monopolizes the area, and some of the multi-jurisdiction task force, they play a cat and mouse game with one of the so-called kingpins in this particular novel, and it's quite interesting. People, they have as a matter of fact, I was told it was one of the most checked out novels in the Petersburg Library, because when people heard say, hey, I just picked up a book, it's talking about Croton, it's talking about Pin Oaks, Halifax, Farmwood, Sycamore, Creighton Court, Blackwell, Hillside. These are places that they can actually identify with. So they tell a friend, next one tell a friend, and then next thing you know, the book got stolen out of the library 3 times, and I had to replace it. So I was told not too long ago that it's not in the library again. I said, well, shoot, I ain't got no more copies right now to put it back in there. But it's in the Richmond Library as well, and Henrico Library. So if you want to go check it out, just ask your librarian, for the novel entitled Big Time by Wendell Moss. If you don't got it, tell them shame on you, blame on them.
So what about turning that novel into a movie?
I've been told that a couple times. A couple people that have read it say, hey, it's motion picture ready. Good friend of mine, Ep3 Gaskin, he does films and stuff like that. He said that a couple times. He was with me in the process of me writing the novel. So he was one of the people that, each time I finish a chapter, I pass the chapter to him, let him critique it and whatnot. So Ep3, he was one that made a comment on that, and I have a couple of partners that have read the novel and said that it would be something that they can see on the big screen.
Yeah, because just you telling me about it, you know what I'm saying? I'm a film director, so in my mind, I'm thinking movie. You know what I'm
saying? It's not like I tell people all the time. It's not a self-help novel. Yeah. It's blood raw dog nasty.
Yeah.
And if you can read and start visualizing, people start looking at me sideways. Man, you actually think like that? You actually just inside of your head? I said, did that actually happen? I said, no, it's only a figmentation of my imagination. That's all.
Yeah. So you got another venture. Was it 30 Years a Slave? What is it?
No, we about to attack 50 years of go-go. 50 years of go-go. We're gonna Certified Hip Hop Independent Magazine. We're gonna do a special edition on that. The edition that currently out right now is the Southern Soul special edition with the legendary Queen of Southern Soul, Tiger Travis on the cover, and on the flip side we got my girl, the Queen of Afro Soul, Daisy O, on the flip side. And inside we got different. Gives you the birth of Southern Soul, gives you a breakdown of Southern Soul. Then we got Shay Nicole, she's a rising star in the Southern Soul. We got Miss Poochie, she's in there. We got Calvin Richardson, he's been around for a while. He's in that particular. Then we got yourself. You're in that particular magazine as well.
Yeah.
Speaking on your production that just took place a couple weeks ago. So.
Yeah. I got that magazine over there.
Yeah. So we now we want to tackle 50 years of go-go, which I think is very important because that genre of music was created by a great friend of mine, the great late Chuck Brown. He put that together, and it ran like wildfire. It ran throughout the early 80s all the way into this current date. you have lots of go-go bands, and a lot of people get confused. Barry Muhammad, he don't understand what go-go is.
I was just thinking about him when you.
Because he's from New York. A lot of people that's not from this DMV area or this Mid-Atlantic area, go-go is like foreign to them.
Yeah.
So constantly when they heard a song, but it may be a rendition of a song, but in the go-go form, they think, that's R&B.
Yes,
go-go band.
Well, that's
doing a rendition
R&B,
of that song.
Yeah, R&B.
Yes.
They sampled the go-go music.
Exactly.
So when we hear it,
and Chuck Brown and Trouble Funk.
Yeah.
Trouble Funk is the most sampled go-go band out of all the go-go bands in hip hop.
Yeah.
And you heard it in matter of fact, you hear it in so many rap songs. Trouble Funk. Chuck Brown is a highly sampled artist in go-go as well. And and then you have to understand what go-go is. Go-go is jazz, R&B, blues, rap, all packaged together under the Congo beat, under the drum beat, call and response, cowbell, and it's just DC is oh my God, it's just hard to. I mean, DC has probably the most talented musicians in the country. The most talented musicians in the country. I mean, you got guys, male, female vocalists. I mean, they can rap, they can play the piano, they can play the drums, they can play the keyboards, they can play the congos. I mean, just so many bands out in DC at this particular moment. But your top tier bands, your Rare Essence, your Junkyard, your Backyard, your EU, your Trouble Funk, your Northeast Groovers, Wet Band, Belladonna, New Impressions, all these top tier bands like that, they cover R&B.
Yeah.
They cover your latest rap. Like we just seen Junkyard this past week, and they came out on the second half. They came off the break, they came straight out the gates with the new Kendrick Lamar joint, If This World Was Mine. And that joint was funky. Mm-hmm. Then after that, they went into the other Kendrick joint, They Not Like Us. And,
really?
Oh yeah, they was cranky. But prior to them performing, they had a up and coming band by the name of Major League Band from out of Fredericksburg. They was fire as well. They in their set, they did the Boots on the Ground by 803 Fresh, which is the hottest song right now around the country, Boots on the Ground. Yeah. They cranked that go-go style. Oh my God. I was like, wow. But that's just to tell you, just just example of the talent that that is possessed in the DMV area as far as with these bands. So what I want to do 50 years of anniversary of because they just opened up a go-go museum in DC. So I want to also do this special edition on this particular genre of music. We're gonna stop at. We gotta start with the Godfather. We gotta go with Chuck. We gotta break it down how Chuck, and started this thing. And when you think of go-go, when you think of DC, it's three things you think of DC. You think of politicians, you think of the Redskins, and you think of the Godfather.
You ain't thinking of Redskins. Ain't nobody thinking of Redskins.
Go-go music. When you say go-go music, you think of Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown, you ain't thinking of Redskins.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nobody thinking of Redskins.
Yeah, so when you say DC politics, those are commanders, and you think of go-go music. That's just when you think of DC, you're going to Chocolate City.
Well, one good out of two. You know what I'm saying?
Back in the day, you might have said Marvin Gaye, but for your younger people, that's Marvin been gone for quite some time, and that music it stands out and it's still alive today with guys like Big G and Bugs and James Funk, White Boy and Big Tony and Sugar Bear. They carry the baton and they trying to really pass it on to the new generation. And like Junkyard, they just celebrated 40 years.
Okay.
40-year anniversary. So JYB, when I seen that, I was like, God,
it's funny you mentioned Junkyard. Junkyard, I went to Junkyard Band came to 6335, and I went there to see them, and I met my wife that day that they came.
Okay.
They
All
came
right.
there, yeah. So they would be an anniversary for us too.
Okay. Shout out to that good joke. That JYB.
Yeah. So let's give some lessons to these YNs, that may inspire to be entrepreneurs.
Well, I don't got no.
What's one of the lessons that you've learned?
I don't got no lessons for no YNs. I got some lessons for some YKs.
Okay.
For the young kings that's out there that's aspiring to do what they do. You got to get the noise of, I call them distractors, aspiration gangsters, assassination, inspiration killers, and what you aspire to be. Sometimes the people that's next to you is more they're more detrimental to your advancement than people that you don't even know. Your greatest haters are
right
sitting next to you. It's a difference between a hater and an envious person. Envy is a person that seeks out that the envious person they're right next to you. The haters down the street and around the corner, but the envious person, they sit right next to you. They smile in your face. They they encourage you, and sometimes they give you bad advice. Everybody that's
everybody's advice ain't good advice. Everybody's advice ain't good advice. And it's funny you say that because years ago, I had the idea of doing short films and putting it on YouTube, but Bam Bam told me don't make sense to do that. Bam Bam had this thing, RVA Has Talent, at the Hippodrome, man. It was one of the greatest shows in Richmond, man. That RVA Has Talent, man. I wish he would have been able to keep that going. That was one of the best things we had in Richmond. And one night he was, leaving out, and I was telling him about my idea of doing shorts and putting it on YouTube. And he was like, man, ain't no money in that. Ain't nobody making money doing that. Ain't no money in that. So I didn't do it. I left it alone. And now look. You know what I'm saying? If I would have kept doing it, if I would have listened to myself and kept doing it. So, advice is good, but sometimes, you got to go with your own heart, where your heart is telling you to go. Lead by your own direction.
Yeah, but you most of your YKs, your young kings, they get bad advice, and then they listen to people that really don't have the same dreams or aspirations that they have. You got to understand, you got to keep in mind that every dream is not to be shared. Everything that you have in your blueprint, in your head, should not be unraveled until it's actually time to put it into full effect. Because you got people that would, like I said, they will kill your aspiration. They will assassinate your dream because they don't have the same
and it don't
vision.
even be purpose a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? They'll just do it thinking they're giving you good advice. But,
everybody don't have the same vision. Everybody don't have the same drive. Everybody don't have the same motivation. But everybody, one thing they do have, everybody have that same 24 hours. They have that same 24 hours, but everybody don't have that same motivation, that same drive, that same inspiration. So you got to keep in mind that, sometimes when you get advice from people, you gotta listen, and you got to know how to decipher what you can utilize from that and what you just can throw it into the trash can. Because every advice ain't good advice. I ran across some things that people try to encourage me to do, and I listened, and I said, well, you know what? I don't think I want to travel that road. They want me to travel because, it is what it is. But sometimes you can listen to people, and, when I first came out with the Certified Hip Hop Award, Certified Hip Hop magazine, I shared that information with two people, and, they actually thought I was crazy. Hip Hop magazine. Man, what you know about hip hop? You a go-go man. I like music. I'm a music lover. I'm a music connoisseur. Don't put me in one little box and throw me to the corner and think that's it. Nah, I like jazz. I like R&B. I like rap. I like go-go. It's just something that I like, and and so when I birthed the magazine and it first came out, that thing you can put next to a Source, XXL, and you can put anything that's already out in circulation because it's certified, stamped, and verified fire. I
remember when it first came out.
I had some people that I wanted to put in the publication, an inaugural issue before it even came out, but they was kind of skeptical, But when that thing hit the like I said, boots on the ground. When those boots hit the ground, that magazine, that physical copy was in my hand. And it started circulating through Central Virginia. Yeah. Oh, the word was out there.
Yeah, the word was out. I tried to do a magazine back.
He got something.
You had inspired me, and I tried to do Captain Mag, but I couldn't compete.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't compete.
He said he got something here. Yeah. And then send a shout out to my man Latif. Latif, he took that publication, and I mean, woo! He took the graphics and everything. And shout out to Taisha Newman up there in Asbury Park, New Jersey. I mean, one of the great journalists that I can think of on the East Coast. I mean. She numbered the truth, and so those, we don't got a big team like of contributors and correspondents, maybe like a Source or Vibe at this particular time, but you can set that thing right next to them, and I guarantee it's gonna draw some attention.
That's what's up. We're gonna take another break. Give these sponsors some love. You watching Mic'd Up with Sampson Fam. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Yo, hey, we here to talk about some motion, some verticals, and things like that. Check us out each and every Tuesday night, 101.1 The Fan, the pre-show. Bar Muhammad, Wendell Moss, Big Tim. What's up, right?
Man, this guy don't know. What are you talking about? Check us out Tuesday night. Pump it and dump it. The phone ringing. Yo, homeboy, hold on 1 second. I'm doing a commercial. Yeah. This is live and direct. Hold on 1 second. 101.1 The Fam, 8 o'clock. Check us out. We got Big Tim with us this time. For the first time we doing a video, we got Big Tim with us. Say something, man.
Tuesday night, 8 p.m., 101.1 The Fam. Be there.
And we're back. You're watching Mic'd Up with Sampson Fam. We're here with the legendary Wendell Moss. So, my man, where do you see this culture heading in the next 5 years, let's say?
Oh, man. That is a very, very complex question that it has it need a profound answer, and you need really the blueprint from God to answer that particular question.
Yeah.
I mean, because we got a generation that's fearless generation, a generation that don't fear nothing. But and if you go back to the early days of of segregation and come all the way up in the clans and things like that, when they was doing what they was doing, and they changed their colors to blue uniforms. They don't wear white sheets and white robes no more. Yeah.
They got black robes sitting on the bench,
blue uniforms and things of that nature. Yeah. But the thing is, our young kings out there, they don't understand that they are actually doing the jobs
for them, yes.
That was set, that set in motion.
Yeah.
It's a thing called the Willie Lynch syndrome. Yeah. And that was Willie Lynch came to from the Caribbeans and actually told the slave owners that he had a foolproof plan that would last for 300 years if it's practiced correctly. Yeah. And that's exactly what we see today.
Still being practiced.
The Willie Lynch syndrome.
Yeah.
The Willie Lynch syndrome. You're from Blackwell, you from Hillside, you from the Heights, you from West Petersburg, you light skinned, he dark skinned, those particular things that actually magnify and make us don't like one another. He got a Cadillac, I got a Toyota. Yeah. He got a Mercedes, I got a van. Yeah. Those differences that we don't like one another. So we actually killing one another in wholesale, not only in Central Virginia but all over the United States. So actually we need a renewal of the mind and awakening for these young folks to know that hey, we are the originators of the heavens and the earth. And with, everything from inventions that we utilize, from the cell phone to the stoplight to the bell, bringing the doorbells and all these things that have great inventions that was created by people that look like us. Yeah. But if you look at the way that we carry on today, we don't even look like the original people of the planet Earth.
Exactly.
We look like a shell of ourselves. So, we have to go all the way back and we have to reconstruct the mind and and actually have knowledge of self and knowledge of God, and understand the time and what must be done for us to actually resurrect what's this inside of us.
Black people, we have this thing where we just won't stick together. It's crabs in the bucket thing. But
that's part of the Willie Lynch. That's part of the Willie Lynch.
As toxic as they make them sound, and they probably are pretty toxic, but the group of people that stick together more than group of black people that stick together more than any one is the Muslims, but they don't really stick together because they'll stab each other in the back in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But the gangs of LA, the Bloods and the Crips, they created a family within a family, and them people stick together.
Yes, they stick together, but you still got to understand, if they was to actually use the ideology, and because
what the foundation of it was meant to be in the beginning,
they could take
if they
over
went back to that overnight because of the mindset that they have to stick together, they can take over overnight if they just got back to the grounds where it first started.
Yeah, because Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said this over and over. He said our unity is more powerful than a hydraulic bomb.
Yeah.
So our unity
Yeah.
It's more powerful than a hydraulic bomb. And so we talking about, it doesn't make a difference what walk of life, whether you're Christian, whether you're Pan-African, whether you're Hebrew Israelite, whether you're Sunni Muslim, Nation of Islam Muslim, whether you're atheist, whether you're Pan-Africanist or whatever. If you have that same melanin in your skin, we can pool our resources and actually be a powerful
make a difference.
People.
We can definitely make a difference.
We are the one of the number one consumers in the
world.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to say the world, in the United States.
Yeah.
But the dollar, the black dollar, don't circulate in the black community. Not even 8 hours.
Yeah.
Not even 8 hours.
Yeah.
Once it enters our hand, it goes straight to somebody that don't even look like us.
We're the only people
somebody
that don't
even
stick
have
together.
our best interests at heart.
Yeah, we're the only people that don't stick together.
Exactly.
Look at all these other cultures; they all
They
stick
say
together.
that the Chinese dollar circulates 36 times before it leaves out the community.
Yeah.
They say that the Indians, I think, like 20 some odd times before it leaves the community. Yeah. And then you got this, even the Spanish, they circulate more than us.
Yeah.
But here we are the last one we're the original man of the planet Earth, but we're the last man on the totem pole.
Yeah.
And our dollar don't even circulate in our community 8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours.
That means it ain't circulating 2 times.
Nah. We run straight to somebody that don't have our best interests at heart.
Yeah, making them rich. Yep. Yeah, because we're afraid to make somebody else rich that look like us.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. All right, my brother. We're going to wrap this up, man. It was great having you on the show. Appreciate you coming out. This is another story, another truth laid bare here on Mic'd Up with Sampson Fam. We give the mic to the unheard, the ones who lived it, survived it, came back with the scars to prove it, because every voice matters, especially the ones the world tried to silence. Keep showing love, keep seeking truth. Always remember, real stories don't fade, they echo. I'm Marquise Sampson, and this is Mic'd Up with Sampson Fam. Until next time, stay solid, stay taped up, and stay mic'd up. Peace.
I like that.